The 2004 Blade Show winner for the most innovative knife. This is a snap block by CRKT. This is the Ed Van Hoy design, and probably the worst pocket clips I've come across to date. And here we have the CRKT snap lock. So how's it going, Blasters? We're going to check this one out today. This is going to be one that I really fumbled with to try and figure out how the mechanism operated. But once I did figure it out, it really became something that really scratched that itch for fidgeting with knives. So if you are one that fidgets with knives, this would be a recommendation for you. And if you just like to kind of have different mechanisms, if you like to kind of collect unique mechanisms, this would also be one to pick up as well. So for that buy, borrow, or avoid initial impression for this knife, I would borrow it. And then really, if those other things really kind of check the box for you, you might want to just pick it up and be done with it, because I think you're still going to be pretty satisfied with it. So we're going to look at some different knives here for some comparison. There's nothing that's going to compare to it as far as a mechanism, but it's really going to be more of a sizing comparison for other knives that are available, at least that I have in my possession. So this one is still for sale. So this is from Mr. Blower 1. So he's putting it up for $30. But we're going to go into this one, check out some hand sizing, and look through the rest of the review. For adult male hand, this is going to be how this is going to be riding for you, as far as how it's going to be in your hand here. So it is going to be fairly small, so you could put a lanyard on that to gain a little bit of that handle. But that's going to be in that straightforward position, kind of more in that angled position when you hold the knife normally. And then that's going to be adult male, and then you're going to have adult female here on this side. So even for adult female, it's going to be pretty small in comparison. But again, it's about the mechanism and something that's really unique, and something that if everybody in a group said to ask what type of knife you're carrying, you'll probably be the only one that's carrying this knife here. And then what I was saying about the pocket clip, this is probably the worst pocket clip that I've come across. It has a purpose for it, so it doesn't swing 360 as far as the knife, but I think that they should have just had a piece of flat metal go across to this point here, or even if it was still floating, and then just a regular pocket clip from the top, because this one I could not put this into my front pocket. I had to use this in my back pocket when I was carrying it around, just because the way it rides. So you're going to see that in that comparison testing for the other knives, and then you'll kind of get an idea as far as what I was referring to for that. So let's roll into that, and we'll bring in the other knives here, and you can see how it looks in pocket. So here's a comparison in other knives that are similar in size. We'll get to that one last, because that's really ugly. So you do have the Sanrenmu knife, you have the Kershaw fraction with deep carry clip, then you have the CRKT Pilar. This is the one with the G10 scale, and then the worst one of all is this one. So that's how it rides in pocket. Yeah, I can't do that. It takes up a lot of space. Hashtag pocket bully. This is one of the ones that I just could not carry that in my right front pocket, so I had to carry it in my back pocket, which wasn't horrible, but I always carry a knife in the right pocket, not the back or the left or anywhere else. So that's kind of that difference. So the retention side, good across the board. So Pilar is a little bit loose, and then the others across the board are pretty good as far as how that retention is. So let's open it up, see how it actually compares in the actual length of the knife in comparison to the rest of these here. Then we'll throw in the standard, which is going to be that Rat 2. So we're looking at some of the ones in the open position. So that's going to be the snap lock. We do have the Pilar, the fraction. Fraction is a bit longer than the CRKT. You have the Sanrenmu. Then of course the standard as far as the interior Rat 2. So still a great knife. That's going to be that sizing. So we'll roll into the sizing comparison, or the size of this knife. So this one itself should be 2.5 inches for the blade, and then 3.75 for the handle. So we'll roll into that, see if that is correct in the following slides. We'll check out the weight of this knife here. So this one should be at about 2.5 ounces. So we'll see how close that is to the actual specification. So 2.5 there. Let's zero that out just to make sure that is at 0. Let's throw that on there. So 2.5. So that is correct as far as the factory spec. So that's spot on for that. And so let's go into some of the other testing. So the last one we're going to end out with is the sharpness test. And then so we'll throw it on there and then see what this comes out to be. I would assume it's going to be pretty low, meaning poor, not low meaning double-edged razor blade. So we'll see how that is and kind of go from there for this knife here. If you made it this far, you probably like some of the content, so do subscribe below. Notification bell if you do want to get all the videos that come up. We're going to go and look at some other little items before we go into the sharpness test. So this is an item that Shortcut Reviews put onto his YouTube page. This is a pocket microscope. So it has a little light on it. It's anywhere from I think 60 to 120x. It's quite impressive for like less than $13. So I'll put up a picture as far as what I was able to see with this device. You do need to get a AA battery because that does not come with this little Carson pocket microscope. And then also for the knives, I did get one in. Sorry for folks that like the epic unboxing. I'm not going to do it for this one just because I just wanted to see it. But kind of the Best Tech Imp and Goblin. This one I think looks similar to that. You can let me know what you think, but we'll see what it looks like here. So this is a camelus. I probably pronounced that wrong, but this is a camelus knife. It's there. So take a guess as far as what the name of this knife is in the description or comments down below. And then we'll look at so the sharpness test. We already have it preloaded on this device here, and I'm playing around with a different idea as far as one that will incorporate some of the kind of the operation game in that type of mentality. But we'll see what this turns out to be. So we're going to do this in grams. It wasn't grams, but it went over to ounces, so 200 grams. Kind of surprised by that, so let's double check that real quick. It's 234, so about 250 still. So for this actual one there, so that's still fairly low on there. I was expecting it to be worse, but that's still at that the new high end as far as that, and or the utility knife blade. So surprisingly, that's actually sharper than I thought it would be. I haven't cut anything with it. I just thought it would be less. So it's a 440 or 420 steel, more so used for like scissors and some other little items. So not really the best steel for a knife, but really if you have this knife, you're probably not going to be doing a lot of heavy work with it. either. And so this one goes for $37.95, at least the Blade HQ. But if you do want to pick it up, this is a model from Mr. Blar 1's collection. So $30 to your door, you would have this exact one coming to you. So that is actually going to be shipping included. So $30 is that in its entirety. So for me, so it started out as far as a borrow, and then it's going over into probably a buy list. So not the top of the list, but it'll be up there somewhat. Probably I'll get it at some point. But for that, I would say that this one would be one that's very enjoyable. If you haven't had one, if you've never played with one, I would recommend it. But that is that CRKT snap lock. And it is reversible as well for that horrible pocket clip. So take it from this side, put it on that side, and then also the sharp edge still stays away from your hand. So if you're left-handed operating it, the sharp edge is still over here, away from your hand. So hopefully you don't cut yourself. So that's that one for that. So those are some of the specs and my opinion. Let me know in the comments down below as far as what you think. And thanks for your time.